Hey, Robert, we're in a bit of a sticky situation,
I
and that's
was laughing at your joke, man.
oh, you were laughing. I was waiting for something witty to come after that. And on this
No, I
episode of
was overwhelmed with the joke.
you were overwhelmed. And on this episode of Real Estate Chat with
Jonder Perez.
and Robert Eid, we're gonna be talking about what that sticky situation is. First of all, this is gonna have something to do with inflation. It's gonna have something to do with rates and hopefully cutting of said rates. But Robert shared this article with me talking about a specific component of this inflation that's being measured by the government of Canada, by the Bank of Canada, and how these rates are being set. And there's a sticky part of this inflation. And it could soon nudge the Bank of Canada to cut rates when they address what that sticky situation is. But Robert, first of all, we're going to talk about this chart here because
Exactly.
this chart talks about what that sticky thing is and why this stickiness is causing the rate to at least hover where it is. And when they address this, there should be rate cuts. But what is the sticky factor?
Okay. Here's these two bars, one part purple, burgundy, and the other part gray, are the latest Canadian CPI, Consumer Price Index, a percentage year over year. So the one that's the latest is just a little bit under 3.8%. And the burgundy is all the other stuff that makes up the CPI. And the gray is the portion of that 3.8 that's made out of mortgage interest cost. So they know that there's been an increase from lower to higher interest rates reflected in people's interest rates, monthly payments going up. So the mortgage interest cost to own a house or be the landlord is quite a healthy component in this 3.8. Now, when they make a projection to March 2024 to go to the next bar, we see that the burgundy has diminished. It's squashed down, so it itself is only a little bit over the 2, but the gray is still substantial. They say the 3.8, 3.2 is going to be the total. So of the 3.2 in this March forecast, a large, a sticky, a stagnant, remaining portion of this increase year over year is the increased cost in mortgage interest that
Now,
everyone is
something
experiencing.
what's
So
really neat here, Robert, you also shared with me, and we'll load this up and then we'll let you continue in terms of your analysis, is this also stems from a report that comes from CIBC. We'll link both of these articles into.
you are right. You are right. The CIBC article by Avery Shenfield is everything that's in the post haste. And she was quite right to pick this article as a feature because it's just so good.
And I want to bring one thing up though, because Robert, you came up with this particular diagram of how to simplify the sticky situation even clearer. So perhaps start from this and then let's hear your full on take on it.
Okay, so the big letter is supposed to be in the middle, big affordability. This is the problem. How many times have you heard affordability is the problem? We're going to build more houses because we're going to deal with affordability. We're going to rent more houses in the public sector because we're going to affordability. You cannot do anything about affordability unless you attack one of the three arms. In our case, real estate, house prices, the price of the thing, is it 500,000? Is it 1.5 million? Is it 1 million? The price is a contribution into affordability. The interest rate, we could afford a lot more price at a lower rate. At 2%, we can do a lot. At 7%, we can't do so much. So affordability gets squeezed when the interest rates go up. And then it's all based on what the average family income could be. Now, you don't take the real average because 40% of the population, according to our quintile model, 20%, 20%, and then top 60%. The top 60% are the only people that are buyers. The bottom 4% are wards of the state. So household income for people who have a job, have a family, have a car, want to buy a house has to go up. If affordability is out of the range, if they say it used to be 33%, 32%, 39% for everything, now they're saying 40%, 50% if you can of your income, gross income, then tax out of. So if you can boost up the incomes, then you'll address affordability. If you'll reduce the house prices, you'll address affordability. If you'll reduce the interest rate, you'll address affordability. If you don't do any of those things, then you're not addressing affordability because you can build 3.5 million houses in between now and 2030, which you cannot, except the rush for materials and the rush for labor, and then will push the price up even higher than it is now. And you're not going to provide that product in enough quantity to flood the market with supply and so bring the price down. You're just not. Or you're going to incrementally add a few more, a few more, a few more, a few more. So the solution of supply that is being recommended is total hogwash and is not addressing affordability, because you see the three components, and what they're doing is not one of them. Go ahead.
So if I can unstick the situation for our Real Estate Chat viewers who
Yeah.
have liked this video, hopefully, and subscribed, is the fact that there's an irony here because of the fact that these mortgage interest rate costs, which is forming the sticky part of this component figures, is used to gauge whether or not to raise rates, hold rates, or cut rates. But by raising rates, it actually raises mortgage interest costs, and it causes this perpetual cycle of, why isn't this going down, right? And so affecting, as you said, the mortgage interest rate cost, which is a direct part of affordability and direct part of the interest cost charge.
If the CPI, which, did you know how they get the CPI? It's a survey of 60,000 people. Sorry, that's the labor cost. That's the labor force survey. I lied. CPI is a basket of goods, and they somehow figure out what this basket of goods changes from 1 month to 1 month to 1 month, and then they put it together. The labor force survey is a survey of 60,000 people. Have you ever been phoned about whether you're employed or how many people? No, I've never been phoned anything. So anyway, the component that is mortgage interest cost increase is staying the same. Only by making the interest cost change get smaller will they bring their CPI measure down. And so they'll be able to say, success, we've got our inflation down to 2% or maybe 2.9%. And so we can declare victory and we can lower interest rates because our measure is in line with what we established as a goal. However, as you were just saying, John, if the mortgage rate increase is pushing up your CPI, and your CPI remaining high is the reason why you're keeping interest rates up, vicious circle.
There you go. So let's unstick that situation. Let's cut rates. Please set that policy.
Start with the stress test. Doesn't cost anything.
Stress test, then cut rates. Let's hear your comments about this. We always get popular comments when we talk about interest rates. So I'd love to hear our comments from our Real Estate Chat viewers. And post any questions or comments you have in the discussion, and make sure you click on this article and this report. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Estate Chat. Take care and bye for now.
To the reservoir. That's also French.
Au revoir.
Oh, yeah, that's right.